Welcome to Circuit Breaker Live, the best show about dental hygiene on YouTube. I'm assuming there are no other shows about dental hygiene on YouTube.
I hope there are several.
Anyway, this is the Verge's Gadget Show. I'm Neil Apatow, the editor-in-chief of The Verge. Paul Miller's here. Hey, Paul.
Hello.
We have a loaded show today, so we're just going to get right into it. Ashley Carmen is here, and you have brought us toothbrushes.
Yep, I brought you a bunch of connected toothbrushes.
I feel like, by the way, the chat's going. Ask us questions in the chat about the segments, and we'll answer the questions. If you ask unrelated things, I will look at them. You might see a smile cross my face, and then I won't answer them. So ask about the segments. At the end, we'll do open questions. But, Ashley, I feel like your beat is basically we put a chip in it, and now what happens?
Yeah, and proprietary things.
And proprietary
Lots of proprietary gadgets.
So, if you put a chip in a toothbrush, what happens?
Toothbrushing sucks more than it already did.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about these toothbrushes. Okay, so this is the Play Brush. I actually saw this at CES.
Okay.
And instead of a full-blown smart toothbrush, which are these over here, this is literally just a Bluetooth dongle. If I can
It's a dongle for your toothbrush?
Yeah, so you can put any regular plain toothbrush inside this dongle.
Okay.
And then it has a companion app.
Of course.
Right.
So I can show you guys the companion
Does
app.
it track your brushing data and send it to Google?
I don't know if it sends it to Google, but yeah,
wants
your
to know.
parents will know.
The ultimate big brother.
So Paul,
Yes.
one of the big things about this toothbrush is it's for kids, and kids hate to brush their teeth, and you want them to brush for 2 minutes, so you have to play games to get them to do this.
When did this 2-minute thing come into play?
Do you not
don't
brush your
know.
teeth for 2 minutes?
I feel like if you
2 minutes is a really long
just
time.
touch all the surfaces and then you're out.
That's not how it works.
Okay. Well,
Play the game.
I guess
Okay.
I'm about
For
to
you.
learn, so let's put this
Okay, so I'm going to put this here.
so people can see what we're doing
Oh
here.
boy. All right.
So this is my avatar.
Yep, this is you, Paul,
Okay.
wearing a nice knight's outfit.
Okay. And how do I know what to do now?
Okay, so I'm going to press play.
Gabe says, how do you dongle a toothbrush? You literally just stick it on the end of the toothbrush.
Yeah, there's just a literal Bluetooth chip that you just
So
flip
that's
right
probably
on.
an accelerometer and a Bluetooth chip.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
But I have to do all the work.
2 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to press play.
I'm not going to brush for 2 minutes, that's for sure.
Okay, it's saying brush twice a day. Cool. All right, 3. Let me see if I can get this volume up too.
Okay.
There's some great music. So you'll see there's some like enemies coming up. You got to
Okay.
figure out.
How do I kill it?
Enemies?
You're going the wrong way. So yeah, see, you have to
Okay.
have the toothbrush in a very specific direction.
Okay.
Now they come from over there.
How do you,
got this, Paul.
invert the x-axis?
You gotta figure this out. There you go.
I'm just brushing the side of my tongue. That's what they wanted me to do.
Oh no. Yeah, so this is the thing about this, the Play Brush, is it's not I don't think it's super accurate, and I don't think it gives you the best clean. But if the whole point is just you want your kids to have a toothbrush in their mouth for 2 minutes, they
You're
will.
killing
do
it.
I'm killing it when I fake it.
Yeah.
I just brush
Really?
the side of my tongue.
I feel like kids love to fake it. When you were a kid, did you fake washing your hands?
It's all about tongue brushing.
Yeah, kids just don't want to do anything
fake-
responsible.
You never
fake
wash
wash
your
my
hands?
hands. No.
It's like a thing.
Your
How do
mom's
you-
got
how
to
do you
check your
fake that?
hands.
My niece and nephew just turn on the water and then turn it off. They're clever. This
You
is
didn't
what
do
we're
the
teaching our
full,
kids.
full minute and a half hand
Okay,
wash.
how'd I do on score?
You got 7 of 9 rewards. You did a terrible job, though.
So it caught you.
Right.
And so then, oh no, it says what I really love about this is they've gamified the entire experience. These are just random kids from around the world.
Yeah.
I'm coming for
You're
you, Tim.
you're first in your own game.
Yeah. Michael Singletary says, I can't wait for the first smart toothbrush company data breach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just show people the dongle here because people are asking about it. So that's all it is. It's just an accelerometer.
This
that
part
clips
is
on you.
rubber.
And it's
And
an
then,
on-off switch.
yeah, you can
Bluetooth.
take this out, and then there's a little micro USB here.
Oh my
Is
God.
that how you charge it?
Yeah, I can get it. There it goes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Let's
then
all
this
just
is
have a
rubber.
moment and accept what this product is. And that you have to plug it into micro USB.
Yeah.
As somebody who's about to be a parent, I don't want this near my child.
Well, and then they want to sell you on a subscription service. So you get one game for free, but if you want all the games, you can pay $2.99 a month. And then they sell another service where they'll mail you toothbrushes.
I feel like your beat is also the darker side of all business models.
Here's the great thing. This is the cheap alternative here.
Yeah, this is only $30.
Yeah, but you gotta
And there
buy
is
the
one
subscription
free
service.
game. There is a free game.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what do we got next?
We'll work our way up.
Okay.
So this is the Colgate E1 right here.
All right.
You've maybe heard about this because it's Apple's first health type product that they're selling in there for your.
So this like connects to like Health Kit on an iPhone or whatever?
Yeah, and
the
it's
health app?
Yeah, and well, I don't know actually if it does. I don't think it does, but it's just there. It's only on iOS. Like you can't buy this for
really?
Android. Yeah.
Okay.
And it sells them like Apple store.
Yeah.
So this is an
Apple
iOS only toothbrush. I
Yes.
want everyone to be extraordinarily
It's
clear about what
made
we're
by the
looking at
brand
here.
Colbury that makes an Android version, but
Okay.
Colgate has branded the iOS version,
right.
and it's in Apple stores.
I'm gonna accept this. It only runs Apple Music.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So you've got another
So
app.
this is another app, and this one's a little bit more like they accept that parents and kids will play this. So you have Coach Plus, like Coach. This will guide adults through their brushing, and then you have the kids games, which obviously you're gonna play.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay, we're gonna do this game. Go Pirate.
All right.
Go. All right.
I feel like when I want to start brushing my teeth, I like using an iPad app.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. I've been using.
It says put toothbrush. So we did that. I got the toothbrush in my mouth.
And then you turn on, and then you're gonna do
Yeah.
the same. So yeah, down here, this visualizes it for you. more.
Okay. I'm winning.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're getting the gold
This game is not
coins.
very hard. Okay.
Switch sides,
Hey!
switch sides. There you go.
Hey, great.
I don't really use this kind of visualization.
This toothbrush is very ticklish.
You got this, Neeli. You got this.
All right. I'm winning. I'm generating a lot of spit, and we didn't plan for that. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
And then
You'll basically go for 2 minutes. You'll keep collecting these coins.
well, we'll just go ahead and assume that I
yeah,
won.
it wants you to keep going, but you're gonna rebel.
So this is
and
just
say
like
no.
a really basic.
Yeah, so this is just, again, like an accelerometer inside, and then it's just one type of brush head, which you'll see it with our next toothbrush. Is kind of like a bummer.
Yeah.
Because it's not really special.
How much is this situation?
That one's $100.
Is there like an epidemic in America of people not brushing their teeth? What are we trying to help here?
Try to gamify it, Neeli.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for kids it makes sense. I don't know if adults really need this much particular help. Maybe they do. Okay.
I mean, I grew up in the 80s and I was taught to brush my teeth.
Did you?
Yes. John says at least there's an argument for a dedicated bathroom tablet now.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you want.
You build that into the... Oh, finally a reason to use the smart mirror.
Yeah.
You load the toothbrushing app into the smart mirror, and it tells you how good your job you're doing.
Yeah. So you're the optimist in this.
Positive reinforcement.
All right, but what if you actually are, I would say, a fancy person?
A fancy person. Well, then I have a $220 smart toothbrush for you. This is the Sonicare Diamond Clean Smart.
Diamond.
These have different brush heads. These all do different things. This is the tongue scraper.
Oh my.
And every brush head, the smart ones, because you can use regular ones, have a little RFID chip inside. So when you put it on top of the handle, it recognizes it immediately. So this brush head is for whitening. So you can see it immediately lights up like it's in the white program.
Okay.
If I did the tongue scraper, it'd be a shorter program,
see that.
things like that. So
Oh, there's an app on this.
Right here, I'll get the
yeah, there's always an app. I've been actually testing this for a month or two now, and I never sync it with my phone.
Really?
Because I don't bring my phone in the bathroom in the morning. I'm just like, I just need to go brush my teeth. It's like
Yeah.
a thing. It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Can you show me those lights again?
So this
Yeah.
is for adults. There's no game.
Yeah, there's no game. This is truly like just you need to brush. This is the area you need to brush. If you want to set goals for your plaque or
It doesn't measure any of that though.
it keeps track of it for you. Like I can
What were those other modes that you had? Oh, there they are.
yeah.
So if I just take this off, let's do the tongue scraper,
yeah.
which I've already seen Ashley put on her tongues and being very tolerant. So it lit up there now. It
goes
says
to
tongue care.
Tongue mode.
Yeah.
And when does that change exactly?
There we go.
Well, so now if I use the tongue mode, which I can. Okay, hi.
Okay. Oh, and it's moving as you move your. Great.
These are the horrible, disgusting things that were on your
Yeah,
tongue.
they're blasting off your. Can I just be very honest with you? Tongue scrapers, like very Indian, like Indian families have them.
Oh.
They're just like little loops of metal that cost like 5 cents.
A lot of Instagram influencers have really been pushing the tongue scrapers.
Yeah.
I bought a regular
Like I had one when I was a
a
kid.
manual toothbrush on Amazon, and it just has like rubber scrapey parts on the back of the.
Yeah. But what you want is an app with an animation and a time limit. So this is $220?
Yeah.
Are any of these people making medical claims beyond we will incentivize you to brush your teeth?
I don't think so. I think they say you can work with your dentist. Like if your dentist says to you, hey, you really need to focus on your lower teeth. you could.
And now it's harder to lie to your dentist.
Right. They could work with you to be like, I
So
want
now
to
you're
see
sending
it.
data to your dentist
Yeah.
office. I feel bad for the dentist who have to like sit down and
Also, each of these smart
like a
brush heads
3D
costs
display.
more than $10, and they want you to replace them
Well,
like
so
every month.
this is the reason that we care, right? Let's be
Right.
honest.
So this is its wireless charging cup. Pop it in there.
That's pretty cool.
Charging. And I was like, okay, what is it about this wireless
Yeah.
charging cup? Eli, can we?
Oh, because I have an iPhone 10,
Yes.
so it's Qi. Look at that.
Gee. So you can also
Goodness.
charge your phone.
That's a lot. I don't know if we've solved any problems here today, but I do like this.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you're like, you know what I want is a glass of water. Let me just throw my phone down on this electricity. Just move on.
Yeah. Your charging cup.
This is great.
do you-
I think I feel good about
So you've been using this one in
Yeah.
particular. Are you into it?
So I've actually been using electric toothbrushes since forever. My parents are very big on the electric
That's
toothbrush.
supposed to be better for you than
Yeah, it's definitely better than a manual toothbrush, but I just don't want to sync an app. I'm not going to look at my screen. I don't bring my phone in the bathroom with me right when I wake up in the morning. I just go straight to the bathroom and then I'm brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to look at my phone.
Will
I'm
this
just not.
tell your phone about how you did later on?
Yeah, you can go back and revisit, like, oh, you missed this spot. Or,
You can
know.
tell. It's in your mouth. If you don't know where you missed when you brushed your teeth, you need to just pay more attention to yourself.
How will you pirates get all the coins, Eli?
All right. Zayn says, I like it. So you got one customer out there. We actually have a super packed show for all of you. We got to move right on. Chaim Gartenberg is going to join us. We're going to take apart an iPod and replace its hard drive with some SD cards. Donnie's going to be here. We're going to play with some Bluetooth styluses and see where that leads us. But next, Ashley's going to run over there to the Ask Circuit Breaker corner, and Ashley and Jake are going to answer the questions that people have been sending in all this week.
That's right. We have a new segment, Ask Circuit
the
Breaker.
news is dead.
News is
We've
gone.
moved on.
Actually, literally nothing happened this past week, so this is why we had to fill this in. But we got some questions from people over the past week. We had some good questions.
Yeah, Twitter came through.
We may or may not answer them. We've only promised that we will ask the big questions. But our first question is about smart homes and how do you get started with them, which I think is a good question. Something that I think about probably a little bit too often for just my own purposes, even though I
I just
already
like
have
to
smart
imagine you
stuff.
on the couch, like,
I'm just like, what advice should I give past me? But I actually think the answer for this is getting like easier and easier. So first things first is an Echo Dot. You can get one for like $30 on sale basically all the time. And that will give you a sense of whether you like, I mean, voice control is basically the way to control smart home products right now. And that'll give you a sense of if you're comfortable with that, if that feels natural to you, and you know, you'll get a sense of
if it's going to become a thing that
Yeah.
you're going to make your brand.
I thought I'd be very uncomfortable with it, and I'm still a little uncomfortable with it, but it grows more and more natural. And then I would say the second thing to get is some smart lights. My favorite are the Philips Hue. They are really easy to set up. They're very reliable, which is the most important thing here. And they're very expandable. So if you decide that you do really like smart lights, there are a ton of different options you can get. I would not necessarily start out with the multicolor ones that are like really expensive. You said you like them, but
I think they're cool.
I don't need like a purple living room, but
You have to know what you're doing with color and
I'm not like
wall light, but you know.
a multicolor lighting expert. I can manage the like blue to orange ones that are like choose your tone, relax.
I mean, I have a light at home that I've been testing, the Soul from GE, and it has an Alexa actually built into the light. And I love the smart light aspect of it, but only because I use actually its app. So when I'm on the way into my apartment, I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. So I'm like walking up the stairs and I turn on the light from the hallway, which feels like a hack to me. I'm like, I did it.
It does feel
I
super
made
cool.
it. Yeah, I don't use the Alexa. I actually mute the Alexa the whole time.
That's your okay. I mean, I do feel a little creeped out about the always on stuff, but it's just so convenient. I never open the app.
Yeah, and if you're going to get started with a smart home, it's like get a smart speaker, just try it out, see if you like it. You're not putting that much money up front for the Dot.
For sure. And then there's some like obvious next steps if this is all going well for you. Nest's thermostat and smoke detector are really cool. Ring has, doorbells. So there are some really, natural places to expand to if you decide that you kind of like what's going on there.
Yeah. So our second question of the week, Ask Circuit Breaker, is do we think that phones are getting more delicate over time? I really love this question.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's something I hadn't really thought about exactly in this way. It's interesting because you have the immediate phone that came to mind was the iPhone 10 because it's like, oh my God, you don't want to drop that thing. The glass on the back is more expensive to replace than the actual screen. And that's the same with AppleCare too. So it's like, okay, that's a really delicate phone that you just cherish it. Hold it close to your heart at all times. Maybe even put a case on it. Same with the other new iPhone, the iPhone 8. But then at the same time, you have a bunch of phones now that are waterproof. And that's a really great utility use whereas before if you dropped it in the shower, the toilet, the pool, whatever, your phone was dead. It was gone. Now it's like you could take photos like me.
Waterproof, I think, is like a great argument for phones being more sturdy because this is like a serious quality of life improvement. People were like constantly worried. One of my earlier phones nearly died because I got rained on, and that's just not a thing I have to worry about now. I was like taking pictures outside the other day with my Pixel because it was raining and it was beautiful. Did not have to worry about it getting dripped on. That's great.
Yeah, and I think too, like, our phones now are kind of our main accessories, right? And so back in the day when we had our big, bulky plastic or whatever, our massive phones that we could drop from rooftops and they would survive, it's like those didn't look good.
Yeah.
Even if you could get that now as a smartphone, you probably wouldn't want it because you're like, no, it just doesn't look good. Our design sensibilities have changed. Also, now phones are just infinitely more expensive. So whether or not they've gotten more delicate, you definitely want to just take care of it more.
They're scarier to break.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Like, whereas before you're like,
right.
the cracks, okay. Now it's like, no, that cost me $1,000.
So the answer is like yes and no.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, they're always saying there's new Gorilla Glass.
I know.
It's like, sure.
Every year. I'm so excited for the new Gorilla Glass.
Yeah.
So that's Ask Circuit Breaker. Be sure to send us your questions. Write them in the comments. As you might notice, YouTube people, these were all tweets this week. Do not be upstaged by our Twitter followers. This is on you. We need good questions in the comments, YouTube, on this video. If you're watching it right now. We'll see you next week. And back to them.
All right, Chaim.
Hello.
Thank you, Ashley and Jake, by the way. We had a question in the chat, by the way, that said, do you need an upgraded router for smart home stuff? I will say that until I got a mesh network system, I have an Eero, but I think anything would work. All of my smart home experiments failed. Because they all have tiny little Wi-Fi antennas hidden in tiny little spots. So you need the coverage. They can't pull a weak signal. Anyway, Chaim, you're here.
I'm here.
You have brought us a number of iPods in a state of disarray. And I just want to explain what is happening here. We're going to take out the hard drive of one of these iPods in real time, and you're going to replace it with this custom board that has micro SD cards in it.
Yep.
It's basically an SSD upgrade.
Yeah.
So here's the story. Here's why this is happening this week. I am just like...
This story, by the way, is called My Friend Ryan Johnson by Nilay Patel.
It is.
Esquire.
Thank you for the title. No one ever gets the title right. No, I love looking at eBay for weird old gadgets. I was looking at iPods, and I noticed there's this huge booming market for upgraded iPods. And I tweeted, I might buy one of these because I'm a sucker and I will buy anything.
And I love the new Star Wars movie.
And Ryan Johnson, who directed The Force Awakens, tweeted back at us. Last Jedi, I'm sorry. Ryan Johnson, who directed Last Jedi, tweeted back at us. He has one. And he's showing us a picture of it. And he loves it.
It's like
and
the beautiful cloudless land.
Sorry, I can't believe I got to move around. But he and I have been just chatting about how much we like not having streaming services in our lives and we like having the music. So we figured we got to just show people how this works. So Chaim, show us how this works.
All right. So we're going to start out with our iPod, which we had you select, which is a 5th generation 30 gigabyte iPod. This is the iPod Video. This was the last generation before Apple switched to the generally, in my opinion, inferior aluminum-fronted, boring iPod Classic. This is still your, classic platonic white iPod, great click wheel.
Let's look over here. So this is the first one with the mechanical quick wheel. This is where they've landed. This is a classic.
Yeah.
What you want is a 5th gen.
Yeah.
Because the 5th gen had the best DAC. It had a Wolfson. People like the 5th gen the best of all these. And apparently it's very hard to open this
Yeah. The 5th generation also has a big advantage, which is this is really hard to take apart. The Classic is just bolted on here. So we're actually just going to go get right in. We're going to take our trusty iFixit makes a repair kit, which is this beautifully arrayed thing for tools for cracking open your devices. So we're going to take this bespoke plastic iPod opening tool, and we're going to just crack open the case here.
You've already got it started.
Yeah, I started this because this is a bit of an annoying process. It will sound like you're breaking your iPod. Don't break your iPod is my best advice, and be patient.
This is why we do this live, because this is now terrifying. I mean, I'm not even doing it. I'm afraid for you.
So, Neli, when you're hanging out with your best friend Ryan Johnson,
My God,
what
Paul.
else do you guys like to talk about?
Today we shared each other photos of our record players.
Oh,
That's where we are. That's where our friendship is. It's a very early stages. It's
you
mostly
guys-
complaining on streaming services.
would you say this has something to do with being like sort of like a Luddite or like a hipster, or what does this come from?
You know, I think for me, in particular with music, I hate being locked in. I've always hated DRM. I love the iTunes Store when the iPod came out sold. Remember, Steve Jobs wrote an entire letter that's like against DRM, and he convinced the music industry to drop DRM. There was just a sense that you would buy files, you would own them. You know,
Files.
they were standards, right? Like they were, some stores. Amazon sells MP3s, iTunes Store sold AACs, and you had them, and you could just play them on any device you wanted.
Right.
And Apple's big advantage was that this was a better music player than all the other music players. And that was what they had to compete on. It's what they eventually won on. But it wasn't, hey, you're an Apple Music subscriber. Now you can just buy this one thing. Or, hey, you're a Spotify. There was news today. Spotify's working on its own hardware.
Right.
Like, all that's just lock in. And that, to me, I'm over it.
I just want to point out, I don't want to.
Chaim's got it, by the way.
Yeah, we've got it.
We
We're
distracted the audience with our
Just trying to be
radical open ideology. So Chaim could actually open this
in
thing.
the corner over here is the power supply, which
All
we're
right,
about to.
we got it.
This corner right here. We're about to yank the power supply from the base very carefully.
This is
Without
amazing.
I mean, I'm so nervous right
This
now.
is terrifying.
getting in here with our tweezers.
My God. So what are you disconnecting here?
So now we're disconnecting power, which is this tiny little gray thing over here, and the goal is to get it out without ripping out the entire board. If we mangle this cable, it's not a huge deal though, because while we're in here, we're also going to remove the battery.
I'm just like holding my breath.
I know, I'm pretty excited.
Got it.
All right, nailed it.
All right.
I'm Gartenberg, everybody.
Could you possibly believe that this is actually more convenient, though, than just putting songs onto your iPhone with, like,
I don't think it's
Apple
about
Music or
convenience. I think convenience is
like principle?
it's about print. It's also about focus. When I listen to streaming music services, I just like zone out into playlists.
All right, so here we go. Now we have we are inside an iPod. Right over here, this big chunk is our hard drive.
Do you think Johnny Ive picked this shade of blue?
Honestly, very, very
Do you think
probable.
he and Steve Jobs are like, I don't know, can we see 10 more shades?
So we're going to peel out these rubber bumpers. Now the next thing we got to do, this cord over here is super important. This is the headphones.
Hey,
So if we break that, this basically becomes useless. So we're going to undo this little latch right here and just slide that right out.
yeah.
All right.
Look at that.
So this is your backbin iPod case. Again, we're going with the 30 gigabyte for a few reasons. One
Wait,
is
can we just take 1 minute? This is a lot. I mean, this hard drive is huge. We have one here. This is like all of the weight of a hard drive.
Yep.
You think about the size of the components in your phone now, it's like all battery, and this board powers everything that a phone does. Or a board of this size, basically, even smaller in some cases. It's like kind of remarkable.
But remember, the iPods played Breakout.
It's true. They had the one game.
Oh, this is the video iPod, right?
Yeah, this
Like,
is-
yeah, this is a video iPod. You can put videos
color
on here.
screen, whole thing.
this is pretty quality stuff.
Okay, so you just took out the battery.
So I just took out the battery, which is
bought a
literally just
new-
glued to this board. We went to iFixit and bought a reputable new battery.
How much is the replacement battery?
So the replacement battery is about $15,
That's
Okay.
not that bad.
which is, yeah, not that bad. So we're just gonna get this lined up.
You're basically gluing it in there.
It comes pre-made with good old-fashioned 3M adhesive.
Okay.
So we're just gonna peel that sticker, gonna slot it into place, and press down.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So now battery replacement's done. Now we get to the fun part. So this is a 30 gigabyte hard drive. There's two reasons we're using the 30 gig. One is that it's thinner and lighter. And two is here, we have over here, this is an 80 gig video iPod. So you can see it's like much chunkier.
Yeah. I always bought those and I never bought these. And
Yeah.
they showed me this one and it's kind of way smaller.
So we're going to get rid of this hard drive.
I was always the person who bought the biggest iPod they could.
Did you fill it?
I came
I
close.
definitely have never had 30 gigabytes of music on any one device.
It was as I started ripping my CDs into higher and higher quality. Okay, hard drive out.
Hard drive's out. So
Now it happens.
now we're going to take this. This is the iFlash Quads. This is a company that actually makes these bespoke boards. As you can see, perfectly designed to fit right here into this iPod. But they basically sell a whole bunch of these. They have ones for SATA hard drives. They have ones for full-size SD cards. We went with micro SD cards because micro SD cards are super cheap.
Yeah.
So we're just going to slot these in. These are two 128 gigabyte Samsung micro SD cards. And now this is a 256 gigabyte hard drive.
Wow.
This was 30.
That's crazy. How far we've come.
How far we've come.
In a
Now-
previous life, Paul and I would write posts all the time. We're like, a new, bigger micro SD card has come out.
Dude, it's a little known secret of Circuit Breaker. If you didn't know this, by the way, people who are watching on YouTube, Circuit Breaker is also a website that you can go to. If you go to theverge.com/Circuit Breaker, we write about technology too. And storage posts are big
Blow up
hits.
every time.
There's like a hot new SSD right now, like a 30 terabyte, 2.5 inch SSD.
Yeah. Top of the site.
It's a huge hit for us.
Everything you're doing is filling me with dread. Just like absolute.
Now we're just
Insane,
reattaching.
As long as you apply enough pressure.
Is this like a position that you need to know that you're in?
No, I'm just trying to
just
get
doing
the
moves?
pressure on the cable without ripping out the cable. So this is an in.
Okay.
So one of the reasons this hack works so well is if you look under this board, we're not touching any of the core circuitry here.
Yeah.
And certainly that's how the screen connects. But this is still the same memory, same firmware. All we're doing is we're taking this, which is the hard drive, and we're just kind of swapping in this.
Yeah.
So like replacing a SATA drive.
Yeah, exactly like replacing a SATA drive. So at the end of the day, when we plug this into iTunes at the end, and yes, you have to use iTunes.
It's the one downside.
It's your one sacrifice.
Back to iTunes.
It's just showing up as, oh, this iPod has a lot of storage, but it shows up the same. That actually gets us into one of the weird quirks here, which is you can put as much storage as you want. You have a terabyte worth of micro SD cards, throw them in here.
Yeah.
There's actually a track limit, though, of how many songs you can put on.
Quantity.
Yeah, which is basically defined by the iTunes database size, like the metadata.
Yeah.
So this is the 30 gigabyte one. So this can take about 20,000 songs, give or take a few for metadata, regardless of how much storage. If you put like a terabyte of storage on here, you're still stuck with 20,000 as the hard limit. One of the weird quirks of this process, actually, the firmware on this has a hard cap of 120 gigabytes of storage on almost all classics, with exception of a couple.
Yeah.
Which is another reason that the 5th gen is good for this project, is that this does not have that limit. So you can put, as many songs, not as many songs, you can put 20,000. An interesting thing was the 80 gigabyte version, because it was designed to hold more stuff, has more memory. So this actually can fit like 50,000 if you have the storage for it.
This is all bonkers. I think 20,000 songs on my custom SD iPod.
Yeah.
That's all you need at the party, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so for 250 gigabytes, we ran the numbers, you can get like 14 megabytes a song to hit the 20,000 limit, which is already in like Apple lossless territory. So you should be fine.
Do iPods play Apple lossless?
iPods do play Apple lossless.
They do not play FLAC, however.
They don't play FLAC. So now we're going to reconnect our headphone cable over here. Again, very carefully.
Alexander says, I like my Windows phone. just out there.
Me too,
There's
Alexander, me too.
there's one Stan in every chat.
Did you get that?
So yeah, that's already reconnected, hopefully. Now we're just going to take this bumper from the hard drive. I'm just going to wedge that in there so that this doesn't bang around. Since generally mysterious rattling noises coming from your iPods is bad.
Yep.
You were saying the foam on these originals was because
Yeah.
you're actually trying to reduce the the motion because this is a spinning platter in it.
Yeah. So you'll notice ours doesn't really need the foam because there's no spinning platter. This is all flash.
Didn't the iPod have like a cache for like skip protection? Like it would spin down.
Yeah, it did.
It would
When
spin
they
down the
announced
hard
it.
drive if it was moving.
They have
really
32 megs of skip protection. They announced it because they put it out at a time when people understood CD players.
fast. Right.
Yeah.
So your CD players have like 3 minutes of skip protection.
That was a real arms race.
yeah.
That was a moment.
So then Apple, when they put out the iPod, they were like, it has 5 minutes of skip protection.
What are you gonna do, CD players? You remove spinning discs.
All right. So now we're pretty much done.
This is going way, way better.
All
than
you have left to do is this is our battery cable. We just need to slot it into this terminal over here.
Okay.
And then literally just snap everything back together.
All right.
So
Wait, what about that pad?
Oh, right. Good call. We don't need the foam. The foam over here was, again, to protect that from bouncing around for skip protection. We don't need this, but there is this pad that we're going to stick on, which is literally just going to space against the back of the iPod so that it doesn't, like,
Well, you don't want to
crash
dent the
around.
metal
Yeah.
back. We've removed a lot of volume from this thing.
All right. So now we're just going to flip this over.
It is funny. I've held the ones with the hard drive, and I've held one with these SD cards in it.
So much lighter.
It's surprisingly lighter. And also, might I point out that iPods fit in your pocket better than a phone does.
yeah, they're much smaller.
The length of
get
the
it?
phone
Yep.
I thought you were one
is
shot
the real
lucky.
problem.
This is terrifying. Everything you're doing is terrifying. I mean, I really want to do it because it's the sort of thing I like doing. But I think what I'm discovering now is I like watching you do it because what I really like is the
Wait,
terror.
what's the overall cost of this hobby? If you just like ripping open iPods and putting SD cards in them.
That's in.
Nailed it. All right, so now you just plug this thing. Look at that.
Wow.
Snap all the clips back in.
Wow.
So now you just plug this thing back in iTunes.
So now it's going to turn on. It is going to tell us that it is going to have a freak out and that you need to restore it with iTunes because we just basically took out the entire hard
But
drive.
that's wild.
iTunes will
iTunes will fully recognize it. So to cost, before we pull out a computer and start formatting this. So cost, you need to have an iPod, which generally can run you for the fifth gen 30, somewhere between 30 and $60 on eBay.
Yeah.
You need the board,
Yeah.
which was roughly $45 also on eBay. The battery is $15 from iFixit if you want to replace the battery, which while you're in there might as well get a fresh battery. This also will get better battery life than the hard drive.
Right, 'cause it's
these
not
pull
spinning
less power, so you'll get roughly 20% more battery life.
Okay, but all in, what's the number?
So all in what's the number? Probably around 200, 150, 200, all things. SD cards, depends on how much space you want.
What I think is remarkable, and you have one that works. You have one that works?
So yeah,
TV
we don't have-
Magic. We did
TV
it.
Magic. We don't have one that's formatted. We don't have time to format this, but this is a finished one. This is Circuit Pod 1. You can see over here, we're not lying. This has 240 gigabytes of memory.
Yeah.
Let's see one on this. You wake up.
This one's just gonna be broken.
Yeah.
You know what's remarkable to me about this? So you think about Apple, they're the closed company, everything's sealed. This was the product that started it all, right? Like literally everything in consumer technology is descended, in this moment, is descended from the iPod and Apple's strategy of the iPod. But this is just a little Linux computer, right? Like it's running that Portal Player OS. It is, you can just crack it open and put in standardized storage. You plug it in the computer isn't doing
almost like
some
you
weird
own it.
hardware DRM
It's almost like it's your own iPod.
yeah. Oh man, this is like.
Wait.
People are asking in the chat why I'm so into this, and this is why. Because it feels like something that belongs to us.
I
This is also like just a nice product. I like holding
It's
it.
like one of the best products ever.
Yeah.
made. Paul, what are you doing?
to celebrate Chaim's amazing achievement.
God, it's here.
Oh my
I
god.
pulled. This is a little product I like to call the HomePod. No, this is the Apple Hi-Fi. Check this out. Check this out. It's got audio in. Who would have thunk that? Who thought it was possible?
Yeah.
But it's got a little dock right up here.
Look, you plugged it in. It didn't
The
boot.
30 pin. No, it's a speaker. You just plug it in.
You just plug it in. It works.
It's not
we playing something?
finding
What do we
its,
got? What do we
its
got?
spatial place in the room.
I mean, I'm just gonna play something that's gonna get us.
Its spatial
Completely
place in the
arrested.
room is to rock the party.
So while you're looking for something, the other advantage to the solid-state drives is we had our producer Creighton, who's a huge iPod fan.
Yeah.
We had him take this for a test drive over the last day, and he says that it is much snappier
Yeah.
than the hard drive. Loads things faster.
Well, in honor of the HomePod reviews, we're playing Hotel California. Just slap that in there. Sounds beautiful. All right, we made it work.
Made it work?
All right, now we have to stop it because we'll get sued. So thank you very much, Chaim.
Pleasure.
So impressed.
I'm super into this. I'm very happy that this has inspired so many people on our staff to buy iPods because they're starting to flow into the office now at a weird rate. Paul,
Yeah.
you have started making videos, and no one seems able to stop you.
Yeah. Last week I premiered a new series that's called Explain Yourself. And I can say, without a doubt, glowing reception across the internet. This week, I did a different video that has nothing to do with Explain Yourself, but it's also great, and I think you're going to really like what happened.
Oh, no.
Hello, I'm Paul Miller, and today we're going to do the one thumb test. Everybody knows you're supposed to be able to open a laptop using only one thumb and no knuckles. That's why I have bandaged my hands to make sure that I don't cheat. This is my personal laptop. This is how it's supposed to work. Put the thumb right there. We had a little bit of sliding, but we're okay. The chewy, we're going to get two attempts per. That's a fail. Okay, that was one. Nope. That one really doesn't count because it's for old people. This is a Microsoft Surface laptop. So this is a pretty important one. Hey, good job, Microsoft. Way to go. How about Lenovo? Nope. Try number two. Nope. Got a Pixel. Hey. There's a kickstand on this one. That's never gonna fly. But we got a Spectre 360. Nope. Nope. The original Chromebook. A little bit of wobble, but it's safe. Sliding. Well, it's cheating if it's got the backstop. Let's put that at half mast. This one's interesting. It's actually has a latch. That works. This is not going to work at all. I don't even know if I could get it. I don't know if I could get this open with two hands. There we go. That's the future of laptops. Not. Not really. Pixelbook. Saw that little slide there. Gonna dock points for that. I'm gonna say half mast. Whew, getting tired. Just gonna fight through the pain. Keep going. The slide. The slide is always what gets you. What do we got here? A lot of Chromebooks, it turns out. That's not a Chromebook. Is that a Chromebook? I don't even know. That worked. We got a Huawei. NSA hates them. Oh no. Nope. Samsung. Let's end on a classic ThinkPad. We got latches on the side. This is back before we knew. This one's kind of like a trap because you open one side. Yeah, this is never going to work. So we just tested 21 laptops, 8 of them full point. Great job, everybody. 5 of them, you just got to imagine, 5 of them got half points. That's not that bad. I think in a couple years with the forward Moore's law and the forward march of technology, we're going to get 100% very soon. I'm convinced. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Well, Paul,
Did it again.
Got
literally
him.
no one can stop you. All right, Dami is here. We're at start asking questions because at the end of this, we're going to take your questions to wrap up the show. So think of some questions you want to ask. But first, Dami, you have brought us, I think this is the most circuit breaker of all circuit breaker segments, accessories that plug into headphone jacks.
Yeah, it's a really novel concept, one that I miss dearly. Today I'm here to talk about the Sonar Pen, which is a headphone connected stylus. And what makes this better than the Apple Pencil is Apple Pencil is $99 and it only works with iPad Pro. This one is only $30. Granted, it is a Kickstarter project, but it's really cheap and it works with all iPads released after 2011. So I specifically had to buy the iPad
Can you pull
Pro,
this this way so it's on camera?
just to use with the stylus. But before I begin with this, let's go back and take a look at all the other headphone connected accessories that have paved the way for this. So first thing, I think everyone pretty much knows what this is a square card reader. They released this little thing for free to like business owners. Just because they can take like a small cut of the transactions.
So many iced coffees swiped through.
Yeah, everyone knows about this one.
Yeah.
What's that thing?
So this is really interesting. It's a smart Geiger counter. And it connects to, usually it would be a headphone jack, but my phone doesn't have one. But it also works with the lightning dongle. And
Dongle saved us.
so it works with the companion app, and it helps you detect radiation in your home, just
You have to
wherever
be
you
so
may
dedicated
be.
to detecting radiation.
What's
Yeah.
the highest radiation thing you found in our office so far?
In the office so far, it's not much. It's if I just put it up to this iPad here, it should flash like a warning bright red. And it's like slightly high at 0.8.
Right here, turn it this way.
That's what that's what happens when you put the Geiger counter up to slightly radioactive things.
Put on Neeli. Humans are
He's
radioactive,
not.
right?
He's fine. We're good. We're safe.
What up?
Around
let's look at
Neeli. But yeah, basically, nobody should really use this as like a real Geiger counter. The reviews on Amazon were not great. People were like, I had this next to my TV and it's giving me super high ratings and I should be dead by now. So it's not super accurate. You should just use this as a toy to gauge like what things are more radioactive.
It's the most
than
ridiculous
others.
thing I've ever seen. All right, let's talk about this stylus.
Okay, so let's go back to the stylus. And this stylus, for $30, it's really hard to find.
Pull yourself down.
It's really hard to find styluses at $30 that can also like detect pressure sensitivity and also have palm rejection. So right now it only works with two apps. This is an app called ZBrush 2, and it kind of mimics like East Asian calligraphy. And it's a really cool app, but the only downside is that it only works with two colors. But super simple to use. Let me just draw like.
So what you guys should all know is Dami, in addition to working at The Verge, is a super talented cartoonist. Her cartoon is called As Per Usual. She should follow on Instagram. She won't let me plug her book, but I'm just letting you know that there's a book forthcoming. So is this better or worse than what you used to make As Per Usual?
This is definitely worse. I mean, the app is worse. The stylus, I think, works great. There's no Bluetooth. You don't have to charge it.
Yeah.
It even
do have this cable.
I do have this cable. It kind of gets in my way sometimes, but it does have this advantage over the pencil where you can remap like a little button here. So you can do like undo. Right now it's undoing my strokes. But yeah, it's only $30. It's really great for kids or any iPads, like old iPads you have lying around. So you don't have to go out and like buy a new iPad
Would
Pro.
you switch from your, right now you have a Wacom, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Would you switch from your Wacom to this thing?
This pen?
Yeah.
No. But good for kids and just having fun.
I feel like you've been coming on the show with different drawing devices for a long time, and nothing's replaced the Wacom.
The Wacom is the top. It's just the best. But if you want to find a really cheapy stylus, it's only $30. Anything else, like we have this like Adonit Jot Pro. This is also
That's the same weirdo tip,
yeah,
right?
it's like this weird like plastic disc. But these work as dumb styluses, meaning there's no pressure sensitivity or palm rejection.
And no charging.
No charging, but it works with any app. But this is $30. If you want to get something like with actual features, you have to go up to at least $75. You can find those with like the Wacom Intuos Creative Stylus or the Donut Pixel. Yeah. So that's basically it.
Is this Pikachu?
Yeah. This is
Wait,
my version.
So I just want to be clear.
It's my version.
Today we're going to be sued by the Pokemon people and the Eagles,
This is
which is the best lawsuit.
This is a remix.
a remix.
This is my version.
He's got like a Mario.
Oh, no,
I just
so much for
deleted
the palm
my.
rejection.
Oh, there we go.
We're sorry to the Eagles. I would say we were playing a remix of Hotel California as well.
Yeah.
That's
In
right.
case you are the Eagles lawyers.
Yep.
This is great.
This is beautiful.
I love this app.
So
It's super fun.
here's the thing. We had a lot of fun when we found out about the Geiger count. I was like, well, what else is there for the headphone jack? Turns out,
Did you do something else?
not a lot. There's a laser pointer for the headphone jack. We couldn't get it in time, but it's fine. There's an app for the laser pointer for the headphone jack. Obviously, this sonar pin thing is like it works in a really cool way. It's definitely the most interesting thing we found. But I also found my favorite category, which is basically devices that allow you to use an iPad in bed.
Yeah.
So
Wait, what?
Yeah. So like,
What? How do you need help to do that?
well, everybody's been there, right? You're holding the iPad in bed, and then your hand slips off, and then you get hit by the iPad.
It's like you're doing an infomercial now on our show.
Yeah. Should I demonstrate it again?
One more time.
Shoot this
So
in
you
black
like
and
this?
white.
Oh no!
Oh.
It's so hard to hold the thing.
All this bruises. Okay.
God.
So here's a. This is called the iPivo Pad Pillow. This is $21.46.
Stop it. Is this your company?
No, it's just.
Stop shilling pillows, man.
Okay, well, you don't like the pillow? You don't like the pillow? I got more.
What is this
All
always
this
happening?
clanking going on down there.
What noise is happening? Tommy, I'm so sorry.
This is the Bamboo
Let's mix it around.
bathtub
What?
caddy.
This
So-
is just some Bed Bath
So
and
I know,
Beyond shit,
I know
man.
you look at this and you're like, well, where do I put my wine glass? Well, this has a little slot right here. You see? Slide in your wine glass, very secure. So this will go across the bathtub, but I'm more of a shower kind of guy. But
I just want to register my
bed?
complete disapproval.
put this in
both-
It's like one of those old-timey lawn.
The fact that you're
iPad?
doing this and then the thing that
iPad
you're
right
showing
here.
us.
Look at the convenience. Put all your snacks right here. Oh,
What
so
are
this-
you doing in the bath?
This is not good enough for you? No, this is for the bed. Here we go. This one we've called the spider. This is a tab lift. So you put your tablet in here, right? In the body,
The body. Yes.
the human
Yes.
body.
If I walked into someone's bedroom and I saw that, I would
Okay.
leave. I would run so fast.
Here's the problem with this, right? Look, well, imagine the human posture right here. You have to be almost upright. And when I'm watching Netflix on my iPad, I want to be fully prone.
But
which
wait.
is what? Oh yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You have a
No, I
question?
just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I have a lot of questions.
Okay. Well, this
What is that?
This is the IE Geek tablet phone stand. So this has an adjustable little holder here, so
This-
you can put stuff into
This
it.
is a company that tried to be a tripod company and failed. That's what you're looking at.
I feel like my dad had like the world's cheapest tripod, and it was made by these people for sure. So you just
Did they invent these for previously for books? Like when people read books in bed, were they like, try this book spider?
yeah, absolutely.
pivoted
So like,
to iPad.
so this is adjustable.
No, I don't
so-
think they made these for books. Is what I'm saying.
So you
I think iPads made us horrible and lazy, and now you can buy an iPad.
loosen it
tripod.
up. Loosen up. Oh, look, your iPad is a table now, right? How convenient. But best of all,
Is it?
this
Is it going
solves
to be best of
this
all?
solves the fully
Oh,
prone
good.
problem.
Tommy's
So
got
get
the paw
the-
cam.
We got a
Ball
pillow.
cam.
Check it out. Let's see. So you just put this right past your head.
That looks super comfortable.
Oh wait, and you gotta turn it around.
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul.
Look how comfortable I am. Neela, have you seen the new Netflix show, Altered Carbon?
Paul. I want Paul. Paul. Let's get you some friends, buddy.
Disappointed.
This is $21.99 on Amazon.
All right. Well, you just stay there.
Yep.
We've got a few minutes of show left. We want your questions. We can see them here. Let's see what you got. What do you guys ask us questions? We'll answer, and we're just gonna leave. Paul.
if I can
Martin
pull
says
them
this
up
is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I want you to know that.
Okay, you want me? Here, I'll help with questions.
Also, Michael says Paul is clearly an Amazon seller and plugging his own wares. Chris says Paul Miller 2020.
Whoa.
So that's happening.
Yeah, what you don't know is I'm in all your affiliate links.
Josh says, what is your editorial budget? How much did you spend on this nonsense?
Well, all of these iPad stands were between $20 and $40.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. So less than your stupid iPods.
I bet you could find this at Bed Bath & Beyond.
It's true.
Just get that like 20% off coupon in there. It's like
Tommy,
this is a steal.
which of the 4 of these would seem most convenient and useful to
Probably
you?
this one.
No, stop it. Stop hawking your Etsy store.
Just like
Put this
slide in
away.
a little wine glass
Right?
right there. Put my goldfish like here.
All right, Paul, this is a real question for you. Sam Church says, what do you think of Mycroft? Mycroft is the open source voice assistant that you wrote about over the weekend.
Here's the thing. Everybody knows that one of the big advantages that companies like Google and Amazon have with AI is the vast amounts of data collection. And that's like the scary thing, but it's also one of the reasons they can get good.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of the things that holds Apple back because they do a lot less data collection. So to do an open source voice assistant, this Mycroft thing it already exists as software, but they're doing their 2nd generation of a actual hardware. You can opt in to let this open source project collect your data, but it's definitely almost positively not going to work as well. But I just want to try it out. I want them to send me one when they're done. It's going to ship in December of 2018.
Yeah.
And I'll play around with it. It might be super bad, but I'm just like that somebody, we were talking with the iPod. It's nice to have a computer that you own. You can take it apart. You can put it back together. I want similar things with software. So I'm going to check this out and see how well it works.
Donnie JR asks, is this a Tide ad?
What? Which part?
The whole thing.
No, it's not.
Someone asks, what are the best in-ear headphones with the headphone jack? That's an impossible question to answer because there's just too many. But the ones that we have recommended the most are the zero carbon tenor, which are on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. They
I bought those.
Vlad wrote about them a long time ago. Now we're all locked into whatever Bluetooth nonsense we're all locked into.
Yeah, I was trying to use those, and then my dongle died. I bought a new dongle, and that one died. So I can't use those headphones anymore, but they're great.
Yeah. Is Chaim still here? We got a question. How many practice attempts did Chaim have to do the iPod upgrade? 1. That's the answer, as far as I know.
The one he had in his pocket is the one he did before.
We bought 4 of them. We bought 3 for the show, and then I bid on one on eBay and accidentally won.
Okay.
So that was a mistake. So we have 4 of them. Mine is, I think, winging from China, but we bought a whole bunch. They made all the classics and other things.
I think we can all agree that was an impressive
I'm just a
display.
superstar.
It was one of the most terrifying moments of my life. Okay, Dami, I know you don't want to talk about it, but John says, where can we buy Dami's book? Or when? Where and when?
August. It's out in August. Pre-order should be available soon. Look for it on Amazon.
But if we follow you on Instagram,
Yes, you'll hear about it.
What's your
first. It's my name, Dami_Lee.
Yeah. Someone keeps asking me, T-Shark keeps asking, what are the favorite gadgets from Black Panther? I've not seen Black Panther.
I couldn't even get tickets to it. Like, I went to the theater, and there was, like, a super long line, and I couldn't see it. I saw Shape of Water. That was great.
Yeah, it's real hard in New York right now. Have you seen it?
no.
We got Black Panther content all over the site. So look at The Verge. You'll see some Black Panther stuff. Hopefully I will see it soon.
I love all the phones in them.
I love phones. I don't know what newer phones are, Anun, so I can't answer that question. All right. Bring back the Scissor Vodka t-shirt. A lot of Vergecast fans in the chat. What else we got? Wow, the Black Panther question just keeps coming. We got some Black Panther astroturfers in our chat right now.
It's a viral marketing.
This is my Amazon affiliate marketing channel.
All right.
I saw a question like, what is your favorite notes-taking app?
Oh, yeah.
I always like to plug Google Keep. It's a really good one. I write down all my comic ideas on there, tweets that can't make it out onto Twitter. just like every
Do you use
little
it on,
thing.
that's on the web and an app, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's important to plug the Google services, like the little known Google services you use,
Right.
so they keep them alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't take that away.
If those DAUs don't go up, you're like, well, Google Keep is gone.
So how do you use Google Keep?
It's just like a little post-it notes. I would show you guys if I could, but I don't want everyone reading my thoughts.
Right.
But it's just like a post-it note app, kind of.
I use Simple Note, which has a website and also native apps for everything. But it also used to sync with notational velocity, but nobody updates notational velocity anymore.
Yeah.
And then the new version of Mac OS broke notational velocity, and it's really sad.
I used to use Simple Note. It's great. And the people who run it, they run it because they want it, and they're all like relatively.
Yeah, it's affiliated with like the WordPress people.
Yeah.
They've got all that PHP WordPress
They're
money.
into it. It works for me. Paul, do you think that Puras and laptops are worth the price given the added security features, or should I get a Chromebook? So you actually reviewed the Puras and laptop.
Yeah, they weren't worth it for me, and the default OS that it came with was kind of, for the sake of security, kind of like stripped down, and so therefore like kind of harder to use. I've actually like spent more time with Linux since then. I feel like I'd be better at it now, but it's definitely not nearly as convenient as using like a Windows or Mac laptop. So you have to know that you need and want those security features. Otherwise, I mean, Chromebook is not Linux. That's important to know. You can do some of the stuff you can do on Linux, but it is pretty difficult as well. If you want a true Linux laptop, there's a, what is it, System 76 or something like that. I think and then there's also people who like will just help you like put Linux on your Dell XPS 13 or something.
People are really asking about HomePods and Echo Dots and Home Maxes. Just buy whatever you like, man. Just turn it up. Get Hotel California, buy it from an actual store. Just listen to that one song over and over again. I can't tell you. Like, the answer is buy the thing. You're locked into an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Look around at the prison walls around you in the small cell that you're in.
Wait, here's a
don't have any
question.
wood
Mike says, can
surfaces?
Paul Miller explain himself? Let's do one more. Let's see. This one's for me. This is from 4G News. It's impossible to agree on the headphone jack problem. The world should be wireless. Don't you agree? And I do not, sir.
Wow.
I do not agree. I think that we need open standards to connect everything. Because that's just who I am.
Here you go, Neely.
Oh, no. What are
Here you go.
doing? What's going to happen now?
The original headphone
I
jack
actually had these
accessory.
headphones.
It's just off into the sunset, Neely.
Yeah, I wear some headphones.
With his
The thing is, I have an
retro
iPhone 10.
affectations.
And I'm living the Bluetooth life. I'm just disappointed almost every single day about something breaking. All right, that unfortunately is our show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week. We didn't have the Cabo on this week, the crazy AI remote control thing, because it's just really hard to set up, and we didn't have enough time because yesterday was a holiday. So we're gonna have the Cabo on next week. That'll be a fun demo. We have a bunch of other stuff going on. Tuesdays, 4 p.m.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for watching with us. We'll see you next week.
Bye.